Well, the National Weather Service says spring usually brings the greatest chance of severe flash floods in Louisiana. Devontae Martin reports.
Flash floods are no stranger to Louisiana. With North Louisiana being pretty flat and low-lying, the area is prone to experience flash floods. They come about when heavy rains move across an area quickly. KNOE Chief Meteorologist Marcus Walter says people should expect flooding when this happens.
Also, if we have slow-moving storms that are moving across our region, sometimes these storms can move as quickly as 50, 60 miles per hour as they're tracking across the arc limits. But if they're moving very slowly at 20, at 30 miles per hour, that's another tell that, oh, we could potentially deal with flash flooding.
According to the National Weather Service, flash floods also cause the second most deaths in the United States. Daryl Platt with the Westboro Public Works says people can limit the flooding by taking this one preventive measure.
The pre-storm is where it really helps us at. If the community helps the city, one of the most important things is help us keep the ditches clean, keep litter out of them, any kind of debris.
Walter also says spring to late fall is when North Louisiana sees the most flash flooding.
We're well above average when it comes to rainfall, and at this point, I don't see that changing anytime soon. It looks like we're in a pattern where we'll continue to get heavy rain showers impacting our region.
Reporting in Monroe, Devontae Martin, KNOE 8 News.